Hey, what's going on? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing out there? I hope everybody is having a blessed, safe, prosperous day as I am. I want to thank you guys for watching. Continue to like, subscribe, share this YouTube channel. It really means a lot. As I always say, leave comments in the comment below so maybe we can get some questions answered, or maybe you could share your personal experience throughout your credit journey. That's definitely a plus, so others can learn from you and we can all learn from each other. My main objective is just to help somebody get further in their credit journey experience, whether they're rebuilding, repairing, or whether they're just getting funding. Also, join my free school group, skool.com, SKOOL. Look for Raw Game, RAWGAME. It's totally free, where we will be on there sharing our wins, losses. We'll have different speakers, and you can also chime in. I'll be going live on there a few times, or maybe more than a few times, actually. But it's just a community I've starting that we can uplift each other and we can get further in life. Just networking. Nothing's more better than networking. A lot of times networking is definitely key. That's how people get jobs. You don't have to be experienced, and that's how we learn stuff. Information is power if you implement it. And always don't just be a sayer, be a doer, be an action taker. So I just wanted to take that and put that on your brain. The last video we talked about your statement billing date, your reporting date, and your payment date. And I'm just gonna chime in and talk about that a little bit more. I'm just gonna say when you owe money on your credit cards, or you owe on something, if you can, you wanna pay it down to 10% or lower. 10% or lower to get the highest possible FICO score. And I know the banks tell you 30, but don't go 30. That's 30 is really too low. You want to be 10% or lower, because your credit utilization is the biggest key component that makes up your credit score. It's actually the second biggest key component that makes up your credit score. Your payment history, now that makes up 35% of your score. Your credit utilization makes up 30% of your score. And there's a pie chart if you guys are signed up with Experian.com, or some of you guys may have credit cards, and they give you that little pie thing, and it has the percentages divided, and it tells you each percentage on each one. And you can Google it and find out those things as well. Now, if you take 35% and 30%, between those two, that's 65%. That's more than half that makes up your credit score. Now, that means you can control most of that. Really, if you're not in a financial bind, a financial situation, that's something that you can definitely control. Now, the highest FICO score that you could get is 850. And then the lowest FICO score you could get is a 300. So pay down, I'm going to say pay down your credit score down to 10%, but you want to pay it on your statement closing date. Remember that. So your statement closing date is when you want to pay it down, if you have it, or if you got the money. If not, then you have to wait until you get into a position to do that. But that's definitely what you want to do. And then when you do that, when you master these things and you learn those percentages and those numbers, that 35 and that 60, you know what I mean? When you master that, you'll be able to leverage your credit without harming your personal credit. You know what I'm saying? That's going to give you more spending power and more leveraging power. So you guys want to just keep that in mind. Now, there's a big difference between that 30% and the 10%. That can be an average. That 30% and that 10% can be an average of 50 to 75 points on your credit score. That's a big amount and can make up a big amount. So you want to pay it down to that 10% or less to get the most efficient and biggest credit score, because that's more than half. Now, 30%, that's considered average. And then 10% is lower, 10% or lower, not in, that's considered elite status. So when you pay those credit cards down, or whatever you owe to 10% or lower, that's considered a elite status. But these banks and these other applications, this thing, they tell you want to be 30 or lower. No, you don't. You want to be below that, because when the banks tell you that 30%, they want to keep your interest high, and that's and affect your credit score. But when you do these things, you can definitely have more wiggle room to pay off. To get more credit and to leverage more credit and to what you want to do, whether that may be funding your business or just whatever your choice. But don't be irresponsible. That's a lot of people's problem. They spend all this money and they don't have nothing to do with it. They go buy clothes, purses, or whatever. They're not creating any type of income or passive income. You can't have money going out and nothing coming in. It just doesn't make sense. So you got to make it make sense and stand on your business and do your job. And this thing will definitely work out for you. Learn it, master it, and use it for your power. So I told you guys about those 3 components. So now when you get those credit card bills and you get those statements, just take a look at the statement. You'll see it. It's clearly on there. And then also has the minimum amount, and it just says statement, billing date, closing date. Just remember those things. Start paying attention. And those of you who already know, leave a comment in a comment box. And those of you maybe who have leveraged your credit or you have a strategy, please share it with us. This is definitely some game right here that I done gave y'all. I done just gave y'all a lot of game. And this maybe seem simple to others, but it's really a big thing. Like I said, both of those components, your payment history and your utilization, that's 65. You hear me? 65% of your credit score. And that's something that you could control. You know what I mean? All the other things that may not be beyond your control, but it's just all about being responsible and being able to put you and your business in a great position and put you in a greater position so you could get funding. And then at the same time, the lesser your utilization is and the more or higher your credit limits is, when you go for your business funding, either they're going to match it or they're going to give you 2 or 3 times or even more times that. So just be responsible.